ahwefo ne tiefo yi mu bia kwa bapiem edeba Akroma TV so musumfu obin Gabriel sechi na medical sibo yi edi ebremu na yebora ensem no ma ne yebora mu Ghana ya ifisem na ntia eba bontin ene say the Bar Council of England and Wales and the Commonwealth Lawyers Association and a letter at the Ababontin say the suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo yes and on the position I actually if in seven ya farmer ni biom na to so ntumi ntu aso no mbo adwuma emfa mo man Ghana nti no letter ten ampanyufo enso e de Ababontin e de bema oman Ghana nti no it's up to you John Dramani Mahama your president say obeji atum and I say unjintum now so hwe nsem ya indirect na just mpanyufo from the letter here by no ebe so mo kire oman Ghana de enye nti so betuma ko chewa dwen or comment section am so mi abra me so metumi akenkan e de amount mo yenko yenkuti nsem ampanyufo yi ebe so omoka e kire oman Ghana.
Bar Council of England and Wales and the Commonwealth Lawyers Association have demanded an immediate reinstatement of suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo to office. In a joint statement on Thursday, August 14, 2025, they said the reinstatement should be done without delay. Now, I want to show you highlights from that statement real quick. Now, there it is. That statement's coming from the Bar Council of England and Wales and then the Commonwealth Lawyers Association. It says suspension of Chief Justice is in clear breach of Ghana's constitution. Judges under Ghana's laws should only be subject to suspension or removal only for reasons of incapacity or stated misbehavior. And then decision of investigative committee, to permit petitioners to use witnesses instead of attending themselves to answer questions. That's not follow due process. And then the disciplinary proceedings should have been resolved in a timely manner. I know some of these things are very familiar for you, and if they are not, they very much resonate with what we've heard from the Chief Justice over time, how her family is not allowed in the hearing area, how she feels intimidated over and over again. She's taken a number of cases to court as a result of what she thinks is not a fair process for her removal. Now, and the demands from the UK Council or Bar Council is that the Chief Justice is reinstated immediately, afford her due and fair process in the investigation and determination of the disciplinary matters brought against her, provide clear and transparent rules of procedure to guide the disciplinary process, which must include the time frame within which the investigating committee must conclude the disciplinary process against the Chief Justice. So that's a summary of what we're hearing from the Bar Council of England and Wales and the Commonwealth.
The Bar Council of England, Wales and Commonwealth Association. Actually, His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama said, almost with immediate effect, sir. For the suspended Chief Justice, Madam Torkonoo, and Sanso Fanoko back to the Supreme Court. Said the Beya Obesanso Ababaya, the Chief Justice of Ghana. And we saying in say, Madam Torkonoo, the suspension a buy and we trying to be now so baby or the Bekubiano and Yadia a court in favor of her. And you know, Cassie, Madam Torkonoo, not some no buy oko Ghana court nyina esi ni nyina de obekobia no nasem no omobogu owie no ena ode ko Abuja the ECOWAS court abo nasem no adieku owie wasanso aba Ghana ha asanso aba befale another new one or catch a court na say omomogu yanke bi anshim endra ene ye wa ha ena yesi enkofobi e de England for ene Wales for ene Commonwealth Association for me lawyers for omo ho ena match letter e de abase ane yesanso mfanko back ebusia na letter no e bae no ena the Attorney General me Honorable Dominic Ayene ono so extra letter tintintin e responding omo e ka kire omo say ebo me man kasem bi envankyere mo. In fact, the suspension I suspended the Chief Justice and I say Madam Torkonoo constitutional right and I say based on constitution and omo gina so enkrofo bi na omo be ye den ombe ka say maame no oye incompetent maame no waye adibia ebu mmara so na in fact omo di petition no e de bra the president no President John Dramani Mahama so action petition mo ade a petition no eto asomu pa enti eni amene ukase committee fo no atena asem no so a omudi enti no omonkotena nche baabi emmumu no eya ade a petition no is still hold enti no till say committee for no ebe wie no mo de report na akwakoma his excellency the president John Dramani Mahama ono so no e de ne verdict e de ababonte no in fact obi ankoda enti no ebusia de ekosi ye no me hu enipa like ota mami wechi MPP for so mo si on be pushi wa forget it on be to me pushi wa be 100 years omo ja oda as I say MPP for say the law is always the law. The Constitution of Ghana on one obia edi yeduma anti constitution no attorney general I respond e ka kire omo say ane your constitution ye gina so aye adwuma article 146 ono so na president John Dramani Mahama gina so ya suspending no anti no bibibie ni ho e na even krabon ma me na asem o de bae no baby o de be ko bia ye bogu which means say asem no e so strong enye se bia like omo gina so say bia e politics ni ade enti no yesremo MPP for suspended Chief Justice Madam Gitu Torkonoo, we respect you so much but the ekika kone de ano ya enten
wey eni nsembia ekoso e o mangane ma won so wati binti enimani bia no suspended Chief Justice Torkonoo e wo say yere ni post no esanyama no bo adwuma e de ma o mangana mo entu aso na hwe video no
Lawyers Association, yeah. But I bring you some reactions from social media. I do want us to look at what the Attorney General is saying in response to this demand or these demands from the Bar Association or the Bar Council of England and Wales, and that statement came in the last few minutes just before we came on the air, right? And it goes straight to the point. So I'm going to read just a few for you. The government of Ghana acknowledges the joint statements expressed concern for judicial independence and commitment to constitutional governance within the Commonwealth. It is, however, a matter of serious concern that the BCEW, which is the Bar Council of England and Wales and the Commonwealth Law Association, issued the joint statement without first acquainting themselves, even in very basic ways, with the relevant constitutional provisions and the material facts of the matter. And on that note, they outline the material facts of the matter up until May 15, 2025. So I'll move on to point 6 on this, because that's where a response to the BCEW and the CLA come. It says it must therefore be emphasized that there has been no constitutional breach or executive overreach in the consideration of the 3 petitions, and these petitions are those for the removal of the Chief Justice. Applications for interlocutory injunctions and judicial review brought before both the Supreme Court and the High Court by the suspended Chief Justice and her associates, in an effort to restrain or halt the inquiry committee proceedings, have been duly considered and dismissed by the courts as lacking in merit. We feel considerably reluctant to mention that the sound, including the very words of the BCEW and the CLA joint statement, vividly clones the dismissed grounds with which Her Ladyship Justice Torkonoo, and I mentioned this already, that some of the concerns raised by these 2 associations of the UK are very consistent with what the Chief Justice has been saying over time, very consistent with the Ghana Bar Association U-turn on this matter. And the Attorney General makes the same conclusions, right? Because he goes on to say that Justice Torkonoo, the CJ, and her associates canvassed before the Supreme Court and the High Court. It is also important to mention that Justice Torkonoo has presented similar arguments in her case before the ECOWAS court, which the government of Ghana is defending on behalf of its citizens. That the government of Ghana remains strongly committed to maintaining the independence of the judiciary, separation of powers, and the rule of law. I would end there, because that is the crux of the matter. As the Attorney General fends off any suggestions otherwise to maintaining a transparent process being unfounded and risk distorting a constitutional process that is being conducted fairly, transparently, and in accordance with the law. So essentially, that's what the Attorney General has said in the last hour of the night. The concerns and demands by the BCEW and the CLA of the United Kingdom absolutely have no basis in the process.
Aha na mde ka se bu na ABC which comment section I was watching Makramo.